Hello, hello, and welcome. It is GleeCon, and I'm here. Once again bringing you content in the World of Warcraft universe. On this epic journey we have to cover every single thing in the game, every piece of written lore, every digital piece of lore, short stories, little videos, in-game lore, and every single quest from every single Warcraft game. This episode will see us starting a new zone. On the last one, we just finished off an Alliance playthrough of the Stone Talon Mountains, and it was a bit of a doozy because sometimes it's hard to put this dang game down. But on this episode today, we're going to begin Redridge Mountains, which is, for the most part, with a tiny little footnote, an Alliance-only quest zone. So, stay a while and listen as we take Glee Contessa, our human paladin, and we move her through the world of Warcraft. So, because we were so long, we didn't do any kind of interim materials. We actually did that, or behavior. We did that at the start of the last episode, but we do have some things we can kind of ditch or put in the old bank, etc., etc. So we're right here by the bank, and we actually don't have a lot to do. We don't really have any material to cook because of the way we're playing. I have a tiny little bit of ore, nothing worth screwing around with. We just leave that in the bag.
Welcome to the Bank of Stormwind.
But we can
offer financial accounts and safety
drop
deposit
these
boxes
gems.
for valuable items. Do you already have an account with us, ma'am?
I want to put the elemental fire on the off chance that we can use it. All the rest of this stuff is more or less things we can sell.
Be careful.
Or equip. It looked like we had a mail belt in there. A 101 mail belt. Oh, that's better than what we have. We have a 91 with a 3 strength. This is a 101. 3 stamina, 4 spirit. No, that's a finger. 101, 4 agility, 4 stamina. That's an improvement for sure. Make up for that little bit of stam that we recently lost. I know we upgraded those bracers. The pants were not as good. We did look at that. The belt, I think we just improved that, and then we decided this ring was not worth it. It was not it, and we need a little bit of repair. So what are we doing here? That's the first question. What do we need to do? Well, it's always a good idea to scan and see what you need to do.
Have you come seeking training in the ways of armed combat?
It's always a good idea
Best
to...
deals in all of Stormwind, my friend. Won't find any better. Now, what can I help you with?
Bam, bam, bam. Always a good idea to look at every capital if you don't want to miss out breadcrumbs leading to each new zone. So anytime if you're doing a completionist run, the thing that will save you the most headaches over any other is to look in every capital, and I would even argue for some zones, every adjacent zone. For instance, if you're going to, say, start Badlands, this right here, maybe that's the Badlands, go to Loch Modan because multiple quests will pop up. You know what I just had the thought? I don't know that we ever went back and did the level 29 quest for the Swarm Grows. Let's look at our spreadsheet and see. That just entered my head as a random thought. Did we ever go back and do the Swarm Grows for the Barons? We did not. So we have a quest, an actual Barons quest that we still need to do, but we can wait on that. I know exactly. Yeah, we never did it. But we are level 39 with that character. As a matter of fact, we're level 30. We're level 29, I mean. We're level 30. What we need, what we'll do is... anyway. I know exactly when we'll do it. We'll do it after we finish Redridge, and we'll have a small Horde episode that will cover that and one other thing. Okay, so there is only one real breadcrumb... 2, I guess. So all of these are dealing with dungeons or zones that we can't do, but there is one quest called Speaking of Fortitude, which doesn't appear at first blush to be a Redridge Mountains quest, but it is, in fact, a Redridge Mountains quest. Oh, I'm glad that we have this keg, because I think this may be the quest. This Redridge might be the zone where you need it. There is a quest, I believe, where you need to get liquor from multiple areas. I don't know that we'll do it today. We'll do it when we conveniently decide. Oh, we're almost to level 29, man. We busted out a lot because we leveled up to 28. Thought. Maybe we did that right at the end of the last episode, but we almost did a whole level in the last episode. Okay, where's our guy here? Did we ever level up? I don't remember. Maybe we did. This is the first aid. I think we're okay on first aid. Oh yeah, we're way past all that. Although I can make that wool. Actually, let's do that. Let's do the heavy wool bandages, but we can maybe sell off some of that too. Until that disappears, then we'll start saving up the wool for our first cloth rep turn-ins. You can get a total of 150 rep from each thing, and a decent amount of XP. It increases the more you level higher the type of cloth. Come on, Paladin Trainer, where are you? I lost you. Really thought they were in that room right there, but then I thought, okay, if not there, maybe there. But I am wrong, I guess, on that. Maybe it's in this side of the room. Yeah. Being a dingus. Alright, so...
Greetings. May the light protect you.
I just realized that I never bought myself the moves when I hit level 28. So let's do that now. So we can upgrade Exorcism. Now doing 172. That's a pretty big boost for essentially a move that's almost useless. It's not that... I just never usually want to spend my mana doing a 172 blast on undead.
May
but
the light protect you this day.
Maybe it's cool. I don't know. I should use it more. I don't have Consecration yet. I will eventually get it. Shadow Resistance Aura. It's cool. It just pops up. So if we ever want everyone to have Shadow Resistance, we can get that. That actually will be somewhat useful. Well, that's why the level 28 freaking level didn't even feel like it mattered to us, because it literally gave us 2 moves that were...
Light bless you.
Useless. Not useless, but we've upgraded our Exorcism, and we've gained Shadow Resistance Aura. Whoopity-doo-dah. Alright, where's this guy at? No, not missing diplomat. Oh, he's not actually in the church. But I am glad we did that. I'm glad we learned that move. Spent a little bit more of our gold. Remember, we also spent 2 gold to help us make a new breastplate last time. There he is, out in the... His brother Christoph. So here comes our first quest.
I'm giving a speech on the Fortitude of the Spirit, and I'd like to recite passages from a particular book on metallurgy. The Stresses of Iron. A copy of this book should be in the Royal Library within Stormwind Keep. Can you retrieve it for me? If so, then may the blessings of the light be with you. The Royal Library is very large, but the head librarian, Milton Sheaf, knows each shelf like it was his own son. Speak to him. He'll retrieve the book for you.
Alright, so part 1 of this quest, we must go to the librarian here in Stormwind way back there and say, hey, this guy can't use his own legs. This is an example of the types of quests that Lady Gleekon hates. I've mentioned that on many episodes. Any quest where you just have to walk, like, in the same area and talk to someone else, just, like, on principle, just pisses her off. She's like, why can't you walk there yourself, you lazy? Okay, so it's called Speaking of Fortitude, and we will add that to the spreadsheet as our first Redridge quest. That's the way I run it. Like, this is technically a Stormwind City quest, but I hate giving Stormwind or any of the capitals their own entry in my spreadsheet because they are almost all tied to something else. Tied to another zone, especially once you get past the couple that are in the beginning. And those first couple, I would just call that an Elwynn quest or whatever. Alright, so going to... we got Redridge. We are doing... what was it called? I guess my turn in the thing. Speaking of Fortitude. Okay, so we're going to begin with Speaking of Fortitude. Oh, I might... there it is, way down there. It's actually a slightly higher level quest for us. Boom. We did pick up Speaking of Fortitude, and now we're going to do the turn-in. This is the little courtyard where once we complete the stockades, as we've done on some previous episodes when we had the aborted attempts. After you complete the stockades, you do some cool stuff there.
Metallurgy? Yes, we have many books on the subject and are happy to aid Brother Christoph with his speech. Now, which particular book was it the good brother needed? The Stresses of Iron. Yes, I know the book. Quite a good one. Written by the dwarven miner Margulf Blagan a few decades ago. He spent most his time deep in the mountains of Casmodan, digging ore. Smart fellow. But where was I? Oh yes, The Stresses of Iron. I'm afraid the book was moved to the Northshire Abbey. The caretaker of the Abbey's library, Brother Paxton, wanted to make a copy of the book for his own shelves. But that was months ago. I wonder why it's taking him so long.
Alright, so now part 2. We must then head into the Northshire Abbey, where Homeboy will give us the next step, because it's unlikely, and I know for a fact, but it's not like we're just heading... This wouldn't be a breadcrumb. If this was just a breadcrumb to Northshire Abbey, it would not be a level 24 quest. So there's a giveaway for you right there. So yesterday I talked about this on the dry run. As we look forward to Desolace, I started wrapping that with my alliance, but I am in the grind. I didn't play as much quite yesterday as I did. I've only got about halfway, maybe a little bit more, in the ballpark of halfway through the grind, because I'm doing the full Maraudon and Gelkis quest lines on both the Horde and the Alliance. I already finished it. So I'd finished off the Gelkis chain with my Alliance, and at level 41 with my Frost Mage, I was able to solo. It took some kiting. I had to kind of run and use the geography a little bit, the geometry of the land, to reset the mobs a couple times and use everything at my disposal. But I had I had some regular potions, but I didn't really have any like buff potions or anything. Soloed it. I felt pretty good. And then I started the grind, and in the middle of it I paused and helped somebody else complete it as well. So far, clocking it, I'm doing a human mage. The fact that I'm a mage has not really changed it. I'm just going to go ahead and check off this quest. Speaking of Fortitude, so we finished our first one, and we'll get Brother Paxton in there. Oops, dang it. When I accidentally click copy again, sometimes I use it with keys, but when I'm like lean back like this, I'm not in work mode. Oh, you know what? I gotta unclick these and make us some more. There we go. All right, so yeah. So anyway, I don't remember. It's not important. End of the story is that I'm about halfway done. Oh yeah, it's the fact that I'm mage doesn't really matter. That hasn't really affected the killing. I'm a DPS class for both, so I'd say I'm killing both about as fast. Druid's got low downtime, but Mage has relatively low downtime because you've got infinite, water and mana that you can access. I would imagine our Pally here will have a fairly low downtime too, and same thing with our Shaman. We can mitigate the downtime. By the time we get there, we'll have, enough things to help us with that. I would say I'm most worried about about our Shaman. The downtime is the highest between all of those things, but since we got pretty decent stack of melee powers, I'm not too worried. But it's just what you would expect. Because I'm human, it's taking me about 10% less time, where it would take me approximately 9 minutes per every 500, almost without fail. On my Druid, 9 minutes for every 500 rep. It's taking me about 8 minutes for the same with a human.
Mr. Sheaf is wondering where his book is? Well, this is a tad embarrassing. I have the book, but I'm still making my copy, and I'm not quite ready to give the original up.
I've been meaning to finish my copy of The Stresses of Iron, but, well, you see, I make my own ink for books I copy. It's my own recipe. It doesn't run or smear. It dries very quickly. Unfortunately, it dries too quickly.
Invisible
My
ink.
last batch dried up before I could finish the copying job, and I haven't had the chance to make more ink. To make more, I need Rethben iron ore from the Redridge Mountains. Foreman Oslo and Lakeshire is my usual supplier.
So since this is an example of a quest where, because we're a blacksmith, it will be a pinch easier for us. One, the Rethben ore nodes will appear on our minimap using our... oh, I must have died on the last episode. Using our ore finder. And then second, if you are not a blacksmith, you have to kill one specific type of kobold throughout the mines and just get it via drop, whereas we'll be able to very quickly knock that quest out. Okay, so we've done Brother Paxton. Now, instead of coming back, though, we're actually going to walk to Redridge as God intended. As the Blizzard gods intended. Because we need to stop and hit up the Theocritus on the way. That's actually what you would have been expected to do going there the first time. So we did Brother Paxton now, and now we picked up ink supplies. See, that one I have tagged as an Elwynn Forest quest. I don't know if it's still tagged as a Stormwind quest. So this whole chain is, I guess, considered a Stormwind quest. But alright, we're going to stick to the roads somewhat. Do need to sell that. What is this? Oh, I forgot we can trash. It said destroy those letters. We should have destroyed them when instructed. I can sell... Actually, those two things I can sell. Elders of Warcraft. Looking for a few good tunes. Yeah, I'm fine being in this guild makes me look fat. That is something I will do when we hit retail. I'm still going to do that. We are going to start guilds, but it's really going to be for the purpose of those that want to join in, that are fans of the show. And also, I'm going to try to organize achievements. I'm going to make it centered around achievements. So, this is Theocritus. He is a powerful mage, and a lot of his quests are concerned with the hard end zone content for Redridge, which are his mage tower and his battle against another mage that is there who has corrupted all of the gnolls in the area. Another thing that's good about taking this route is you'll actually begin by hitting up Guard Parker, and that's sort of kind of, I think, a good way to start the area. I don't remember if it's about... You'll get another breadcrumb if you come in here. There's someone that wants you to go bring him his lunch or something like that. Alright, so here's the tower. This tower is mostly useless. There's this quest chain. Maybe one or two others later in the game. But primarily the point of the Tower of Azora is it is the expert level enchanting place. I don't know if they felt that enchanting was just too powerful, because there's just so many parts of enchanting that make it annoying AH to be as your profession. And yeah, it just might be that it's the easiest one to make money on, and it's really sought after by all classes. Here's our artisan enchanter. She's like, why are you here? Frickin' rube. Here's our guy, Theocritus.
My rival Morganth is a vicious mage of great power who lives in the Tower of Ilgalar in Redridge. I have developed a means of spying on him, the Eye of Azora, and can now view him from afar. But to study his thoughts, I require further aid. If you are willing, then take my glyph of Azora to the Tower of Ilgalar. Place it upon the lion statue near the tower. When this is done, the power of Azora will grant visions of Morgan's future plans.
Okay, so now we gotta carry that glyph over there. Also, if you want, you can use his Eye of Azora, and look, it will show you the Tower of Ilgalar in the Redridge Mountains. So he is not lying. Oh, he looked inside. But it won't actually show you any mobs that are in there, because that could be changing, whereas we just watched a cutscene. So he wasn't lying. You can actually look at Homeboy. Nice little touch. Little touches like that are what make the world feel big and lived in and real. Alright, so now that one is considered an actual Redridge Mountains quest, so I know this is going to appear on our spreadsheet, and that means it will appear that way on Wowhead also. So we just picked up a Watchful Eye. That is, yep, an Elwynn Forest quest. So we haven't actually started questing in Redridge proper because of the nature of the beast here. But that's the last thing we had to do to pick things up, and we will soon be on our way. We are already on our way, but we'll soon be beginning. So if we think about from a lore perspective, what's Redridge? Well, I believe Redridge Mountains, and specifically Lakeshire, is a zone that is covered in, I want to say, Warcraft, Orcs, and Humans. I might be wrong and it's Warcraft 2, but I think it's Orcs and Humans. It's a zone that you can go to and do a little adventure in. And so this is a nod to the fact that it still exists. It's also a way of showing a land that is still contested by orcs, in this case the Blackrock orcs. We are in the vicinity of Blackrock Mountain. That's just part of the world here. So because it's so close, it also geographically makes sense that the Blackrock orcs are here. And then you have the mage with all of the gnolls. So there's two real forces that are making life difficult for those in Redridge. And you would think the armies of Stormwind would help snuff the Blackrock incursion and the mage from the mage rival of Theocritus, snuff that in the bud. But it's also part of the growing question mark of what's happening in Stormwind. So we already know, based on our explorations of Westfall and the Dead Mines, that the Defius are really putting a number on Westfall, and that the Defius organization, criminal organization, is working with some nobles within Stormwind to facilitate like the growth of that, and that's also affecting Elwynn Forest. Now we have pretty much done major damage to that operation by killing Edwin Van Cleef. Now, we haven't 100% stopped it, but that was us. Now, the two other surrounding regions to Stormwind, because if you go to the north of Stormwind, there's a buffer zone that is empty, and I don't know that it ever gets filled. I think maybe that becomes a Jara or something later on, or a gate to a Jara, don't know. But other than that, you have the Blackrock Mountains to the north, the place where in Warcraft 2 the finale happened. Here's our guard Parker. But now this is us really exploring the next adjacent zone, Redridge Mountains.
Hail, adventurer. I am charged to patrol this stretch of road. Although the road is safe for now, I've seen gnoll encampments to the north and east of here. Lakeshire must know of the gathering gnoll force. Report to Deputy Felden in Lakeshire and tell him of the gnolls. Do this, and I'm sure Felden will offer you a scout's wage. Felden's usually inspecting the area south of the bridge to Lakeshire.
Okay, so we talked to a guard, and he says, hey, go tell him that I'm noticing gnolls in the area. There's a lot. This is called Encroaching Gnolls. So we picked up yet another quest, an easy one. Okay, picked up another one. We will have some travel in our life. And it might be... This just might be the episode for us to do said travel. Have we been to Duskwood already? Maybe. We have, so that's good. That means we can, wherever we want to go, we can fly there. Duskwood would be the final third area that is considered like one of the buffer states, border states of Elwynn. I mean, sure, Elwynn, but Stormwind. And here, so far, what we're seeing is there's gnolls.
There are Redridge gnolls that close to Elwynn. They may be poised to advance into our homeland. Soon, the people of Lakeshire may not be the only humans under siege. Here is your pay, though you bring us dire news. and it comes at a bad time, for we are ill-equipped to deal with it. We don't have men to spare, but something must be done about those gnolls you reported to me. Scout southern Redridge for gnolls. Harry them, kill those you can, and report back to me with a count of their numbers and an assessment of the threat they present. You may find those gnolls camped all along the southern road of Redridge. Do this for the Stormwind army, adventurer, and you will be rewarded.
Okay, so we right off the bat bopped off the Encroaching Gnolls, and then we picked up assessing the threat. So what he wants us to do is, I don't know how this is an assessment of the threat, but he wants us to go kill some gnolls. Now there is another guard out front who is, this is a much higher level. This is Guard Howe. So that first guard we talked to was, actually he was the deputy, he was the stronger of the guards. This
The
regular
Blackrock
guard.
clan must be destroyed. The enemy has invaded our lands. These mountains fall under the sovereign right of the King of Stormwind. Our sources tell us that the leaders of each unit within the clan are known as champions. You'll find them in their encampment to the north, just west of the road to the Burning Steps. Magistrate Solomon wants these foul brutes dead. Slay 15 Blackrock champions and return to me.
So that's actually on the tougher end. I would say that's probably like the toughest quest that we can do before we head to the elites. So it's not going to be one that we rush off and go do. Blackrock Bounty, but it is a fun little quest. So we picked up, right now we're going to be picking up a lot of quests. So if you look right near the bottom, it is the last before the elites. There is also the fun missing in action quest we will do at the same time. Alright, so Marshal Maris, he's actually stronger than the strongest guard so far.
The Blackrock orcs have traveled from the Burning Steps and claimed Stonewatch Keep to the north. From there, they maraud the areas north of Lakeshire and keep its citizens in town, penned like cattle. Help rid Lakeshire of this menace. Kill these Blackrock orcs and bring me 10 of their battle-worn axes as proof. And although Blackrocks threaten us from the north, we've received reports of more in the southeastern pocket of Redridge. If you find any there, then they too should be hunted.
So I don't know if this is the camp they're talking about, or if they're just referring this to the Blackrock whatever, but they're also letting you know, hey, if you prefer, right along here and throughout here, there are other ways to kill the Blackrocks. And that's true. I usually have taken care of this Blackrock Menace quest long before I'm ever going to fight the champions in the north. But I suppose you could kind of operate with them together.
How are you?
So Foreman Oslo here, we are turning in a quest because he knows what's up with the ink supplies. I don't have much time for idle talk, Lee Contessa. I've got to get this bridge rebuilt before the rains come. I finished every project on time and under budget, and I'm not about to start slipping now.
You need what? Maybe you haven't noticed, but we're busy fortifying Lakeshire's defenses and repairing damage from recent orc attacks. If you need Rethbun iron ore, you'll have to get it yourself. Rethbun ore is named after the man who first found it, Bart Rethbun. When smelted, it's not as strong as iron, but its ore has a dark, flat color that some scribes use in their dyes. It can be found in the Rethbun caverns north of here. We usually have some in stock, but we're too busy preparing for orc attacks to gather any. And besides, Redridge gnolls are now living in the Rethbun caverns, and their drudgers are gathering the ore themselves. So if you need some, you'll have to get it yourself. I could really use a hand here, adventurer. With the town under siege, it's been hard to get supplies. My tools were being delivered from Goldshire by wagon, but the bridge was blown out. We put the tools in a boat, but the orcs hit it with a catapult. Just my luck. My toolbox sank right to the bottom of the lake. Retrieve my toolbox, adventurer, and I'll make it worth your while.
Maybe they're talking about this used to be a bridge? I don't know. Alright, so we completed the ink supplies. So that one's done. And then he's giving us the Rethbun ore quest is the next step in that chain, which is basically go get it for ourselves. And if you look at the map, it's appearing here. So it's actually a separate cave. It is a gnoll-related cave. It's easier to get that than it is to go start fighting orcs up there. And then he also gave us the Lost Tools. That's a very easy quest to take care of. We will bust that out in short order. Yeah, that's one of the lowest, easiest level quests. think before we do anything else, we're probably going to take care of that, but not quite yet. I want to explore the town first. So, Verner Osgood is
I've been using
giver.
so much iron keeping the Stormwind guards outfitted, I don't have enough to supply the stable's horses with shoes. Take this note to Blacksmith Argus in Goldshire. It explains to him my problem and requests a shipment of horseshoes.
Okay, so we need to go to... We'll read that when we make this walk, but we need to go back to Goldshire now. So just having us run back and forth. This is a big part of what you must do for Redridge. There is a decent amount of local traveling in this quest. Now, in here is the best... There's a forge if I wanted to mess with my blacksmithing.
Hey there.
These are the best places to repair and sell. We'll read this Verner note soon. There's an armor, same thing. Both of them can repair and sell. Okay, there's some guards here. Outside, this is... We should explore the town as well. Here is a mining and smithing supply person. So they're into that. And here's our tradeswoman. Now, she has... a tailoring and leathering, but no, it looks like there's no cooking supplies.
Have a good one. Well
and then a general supply area if you want wrapping paper. Now at the end of this little dock here is a very unique quest by Sean called Hillary's Necklace. Hello there, ma'am. Do you have a little time that you can help us out, please? My friend Hillary lost her necklace and we can't find it. We've been fishing all day right here and we looked around here already. The only thing I can think of is that it fell into the lake. Our parents don't want us to swim in the lake. My mom says there's some mean things underwater, but you look like you ain't scared of mean things. Could you find it for her? Blah, 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 please. Alright, so that quest, Hillary's Necklace, let's just bust this bad boy out right now. If you notice in the spreadsheet here, this quest is yellow. I don't know, what do you want to do? Fishing sounds good. There are some dudes you talk to for certain quests. How's our leveling? Oh yeah, I forgot. We're way fine on fishing. So this quest is super easy. You just pop down into the lake and look for like piles of dirt. And which, if you can ever find a pile of dirt, the questy has the different spawn spots loaded. But if you're not using questy, you just kind of look around for the piles. And your golden wheel will pop up when you find one that's interactable. And then there's no mobs in here. You just bring it back to her. The only thing you'll be fighting is your own memory to come up to the surface for air, which, not gonna lie, that monster's killed me quite a few times. So the reason why it's yellow is because you can technically complete this quest. See, look, there's a pile of dirt, but we can't interact with it, so it's not the right pile of dirt. The reason why I saved this Lost Tools quest is because there is a small chance that it appears on the other side of the bridge, which is where there are some murlocs. It's very rare, only once or twice. I've done this quest probably at least 10 times in Classic, and most of the time it's in here in this big part of the lake, but I've had maybe once where it's on the other side, and Questy will show that that's a possibility. Anyhow, so there's a little, I guess when the creators of this game were dealing with the maybe unforeseen things that might arise in alpha phase and beta, they realized here's where part of the bridge has been blown and it's underwater. They realized that children that they've included in the game, which is cool because it helps the game feel alive and real, well, because they're characters of one faction or another, just like anyone else, they can be murdered. And maybe they worried about the PR image, maybe they worried about, maybe they just personally didn't like it, I don't know. But they decided they need to figure out a way to, there's our treasure, to make it to where the children can't be murdered. So their solution to this problem was to create to make all children in the game of both factions neutral. So because they're neutral and quest givers, that means it is impossible for you. Oh, there's actually Wrathband. Well, that's copper, but it says it can be Wrathband ore. There's the other tools that we need. What's the deal with this copper / Wrathband ore down here? I want to check that out. So I put some buffs on because these Murlocs can fight you, but what's that? Look, see there. I'm not actually seeing it. Oh, there it is. Oh, so when you mine copper, there's the Lake Thresher. That Lake Thresher, I guess, has a chance to drop bind on equipped blues. Go figure. I've killed him a few times. I've never seen it happen. Yeah, so anyway, that was their solution. Now, luckily for the sake of our completionism, don't die. You don't automatically die when you hit that 1 second. It just starts ticking big chunks of damage. Still technically have like maybe 5 seconds to get to the surface. Luckily there aren't that many children, because what it has done is it creates a situation where technically any faction, so even though it doesn't make sense for the Horde to come along and find Hillary's necklace, you can, and we will. I will show you on a later episode how to accomplish this as a Horde, but this is the one Horde quest in Redridge that you can get, this baby level 15 quest, Hillary's necklace. So, alright, so we've just easily completed the Lost Tools, Hillary's necklace. We didn't even aggro these. So let's go ahead and click those off. I'm going to click it in the reverse order so I can save myself a line of code or whatever here, or whatever, not code, but spreadsheet. Those are the only two quests, I believe, that are immediately requiring you to go swim around in that lake for fun. There are some others that deal with the lake, but...
Hello.
Were you able to find my tools?
Excellent recovery, adventurer. I never thought I'd see these tools again. During the last orc invasion, we were forced to smelt our iron down to make bullets, swords, and armor. We sent word to Stormwind for a new shipment of materials, but a band of Redridge Gnolls hijacked the caravan and ran off into the hills behind Lakeshire. Now we're coming up short on supplies to get this bridge rebuilt. If you can bring me 5 iron pikes and 5 iron rivets, adventurer, I'll make sure you're rewarded. Now let's get to work.
So in addition to his tools being lost, he lost his supplies, and now we've got to kill Gnolls to get them back. The drop rate's not so bad. That quest isn't too bad. None of the quests... The quests in Redridge are really not bad. It's just that there's a lot of hard elites at the end. I missed my necklace. So you're turning it into Hillary. You pick it up from Sean, you turn it into Hillary. My daddy got it for me. Daddy says that there are monsters in the lake. Did you beat up any monsters? Thank you for finding my necklace, Miss Paladin. You are very kind. My kitty thanks you too, isn't that right, FC? FC. Meow. I know how to speak kitty. FC says thank you. FC has got to be initials of someone. Maybe a kid related to someone in the game. I've read something about it. I'm pretty sure that is what that has to do. We'll read Verner's note in a minute, but you know what? Let's go ahead and buff up the silver vest that we spent so much on. And let's buff up these chaussées of Westfall, even though they're probably getting near the end of being useful. Okay. So, let's check those things off too. We also, in addition to finishing Hillary's necklace and Lost Tools, we then picked up the Everstill Bridge. Okay. This quest is technically tagged as being as difficult. It's one of 2 zones. Redridge and Stone Talon are the only 2 zones that are tagged as 15 to 25. So they're literally like hybrid level zones. So there's a fishing trainer over here if you really want to. I don't believe there's any fishing supplies. This is the guy that would have any fishing recipes or whatever. They're either all bought up or they just don't have any right now. This guy gives us a couple quests. Oh, we have missed some quests.
See you later.
Where I talked to... Oh, no, you know what? We'll get to him. There's a lot of quests right now.
How are you?
So he has 2.
Lake Everstill is famous for its spotted sunfish. There's always demand for them, and I'm running low. Bring me a batch of 10 and I'll barter well for them. If you can't fish yourself, then maybe you can get them off the murlocs.
You can, which is the way we'll do it because we have to kill so many murlocs anyway.
Murlocs are becoming a problem. Larger groups of the fishmen are dropping anchor along the shores of Lake Everstill and fishing up a storm. We need them gone before they eat all the fish in the lake. Hunt murlocs. Bring me 8 of their fins and I might have something for you.
So selling fish and murloc poachers are what we just got from him. Oops, look, I don't see it. So these are pretty easy to selling fish and murloc poachers. That's the reverse order of what we picked them up, but yeah, it's fine. Okay, so the best spot is hands down right here. That's where we will go. There's just no comparable spot. You can swim the lake and kill them, but this spot right here essentially just has an infinite spawn. It's an infinite spawn sitch, and it's just too useful. It's too convenient. All right, so before we go further into looking around out there, there's still we only have 10 spots left, and there's still a bunch of quests left in this area. So right here is Wanted Gathilzog. Wanted Gathilzog, leader of the Blackrock attacks on Stonewatch Keep and raids against the township of Lakeshire. Gathilzog is extremely dangerous. He is reportedly holed up in the recently conquered keep, plotting the Blackrock clan's further crimes against humanity. The orc infestation must be quelled at all costs. A gracious reward will be given to whatever brave soul can deliver the head of Gathilzog to Magistrate Solomon. So that's Wanted Gathilzog. That's, as you can see here, just about the hardest quest in the zone. He's basically the boss of the Blackrock Mountain area. We will not be doing that today. I think there's a cup. I don't know, actually. That's maybe the one. Wanted poster. What was that? That was a chair. Thought it was an interactable thing. All right.
An enemy of Stormwind has taken up residence in the eastern foothills of Redridge. This wicked villain uses the arcane to spread terror and misery upon our town and our people. Under the name Morganth, he conducts his evil business. Morganth now controls the Shadowhide Gnoll clan to perform his biddings, as stated by the law of Lakeshire. Aiding a criminal of the kingdom is punishable by death. These vile gnolls must be killed. Turn in 10 Shadowhide pendants to me, and you shall be rewarded.
Okay, now we have to do that quest before we can, I think, go after Morganth as the finale. But what was it called? Solomon's Law. Okay, so that's to kill. This is going to be the east side of the zone. We're not going to be doing it quite yet. This is old Bailiff Conacher. Don't know why it's called Solomon's Law. Maybe that is the name of the law, because he said there's a law that basically says if you help an enemy of the kingdom, in this case, they're helping the gnolls, then you're guilty.
Light be with you.
So Messenger to Stormwind, this is a chain we're going to start right now. We will do this one before we do any of the others.
These are trying times, adventurer. The township is under constant siege. Without reinforcements, we will certainly face defeat. The message I now entrust to you is of utmost importance. Get this report to General Marcus Jonathan of Stormwind immediately. Once your delivery is made, return to me at once with any news, be it good or bad. Now make haste.
Okay, so we got some reading to do there. This is the easy. This chain right here is a travel chain that we have to complete. It's back and forth to all the zones in the area. It's part of what sucks about Redridge, but luckily all of these things are close. We will do that, but we will pick up the others first, because while doing all of this, we're going to complete the this one other chain that we have to do. All right, we still have a couple little thingies in the area. First of all, here is Wanted Lieutenant Fangor. Wanted Lieutenant Fangor, known leader of the Shadowhide Gnoll clan, working under the enemy of the township and Kingdom Morganth by mandate of Magistrate Solomon. That's why it's Solomon's Law, because Solomon is the name of the magistrate. This vile betrayer of Stormwind is wanted dead. Show his paw to the magistrate as proof of his death. So I don't believe he's an elite. He's just a tough guy that we have to take out. So Wanted Lieutenant Fangor, higher level quest, but it's not that tough. We'll be fine. There is a fun little sign you can just read here. Missing Corporal Keishan. Missing Corporal Keishan. Last seen during the bloody battle at Stonewatch Keep, Corporal Keishan was reported to have been dragged away by Blackrock orcs. It is believed that Corporal Keishan is being held as a prisoner of war at the Blackrock encampment north of Lakeshire, just west of the pass leading to the Burning Steps. By mandate of Magistrate Solomon, anyone who aids in the recovery of Corporal Keishan shall be rewarded by Marshal Harris. So that's basically a way of letting you know that he's missing in action up there. Almost have all the quests here.
Targor the Dread served under Gath Ilzog as Supreme Executioner. His methods were ruthless, even by filthy orc standards. Men who fought bravely to defend the kingdom were tortured on his whim. Now, he is being held in the Stormwind Stockade, sentenced to die. Yet something is amiss. One of the bureaucratic nobles put a hold on his...
We're going to drop that one. That quest, that's a Stockades quest. So we'll save that one because we're not doing the Stockades for a while. Now, within the inn, here we go.
Can you do me a favor? I've prepared a lunch for Guard Parker, but he's out on patrol. He's a big, strong Stormwind guard who can defend himself, but it's much too dangerous out there for a townsperson like me. So if you deliver his lunch for me, then come back here and I'll give you a free lunch. Parker patrols the stretch of road leading to Duskwood.
Okay, so we've now picked up a quest called the Free Lunch. That's a very easy one. That's a breadcrumb out to Guard Parker. If for some reason you haven't done that. There's a Fletcher if we wanted to sell. We got to bring his lunch. What else do we have in here? That's a guy, yours Barley Brew. Here's Narni the cat. And the innkeeper, Brianna, if you want to set your Hearthstone, if you're a mage or whatever. Here's another kid, Aaron.
Hey there.
And a bartender. Now this bartender...
Safe travels.
No, this is the guy we need. Barkeep Daniels.
I find myself in quite a pinch here, adventurer. The bottles are close to running dry. The latest booze shipment is long overdue. The orc invasion has been hell. Perhaps you can go to work for me? I need you to pick up a keg of Thunderbrew Lager from Grim Booze Thunderbrew in the Westfall Hills, a cask of Merlot from Stormwind, a bottle of moonshine from Darkshire, and a skin of sweet rum from Goldshire. Bring those back to me, and I will see to it you are rewarded.
So we now have reason to go to all of the same regions that were going to be sent dry times for the messaging quest. So at least we have 2 things we can do in each. These, I don't know why this zone is so obsessed with traveling, but I guess from a story perspective, it's kind of neat. The butcher Sherman has nothing for us, and his wife Gloria just has the standard sagefish and sagefish delight. Down in their cellar, they're not keeping any prisoners or anything like a lot of people love to do in this. Now upstairs, are there any people that live at the inn that we should talk to? Well, there's a tailoring supply person, Franklin Amar. He's got a solstice robe.
Careful.
Not for us. There's also a Wiley the Black, someone we'll probably have to talk to as part of a travel around the world quest later. And in the luxury suite, nothing. Perfect. That's where we will be sleeping later. Actually, I don't know if I'll remember to do that, but just something to keep our mind on. That bed looked quite comfy. Alright, and then on the outskirts of town, later on in retail, this is an area where there's an interesting little cutscene with a fallen paladin. Can't remember which one. Uther, I think, maybe. In Shadowlands, this is the area of Redridge where that memory occurs. Up in this little house up here, there's a poison supplier, Gerald Crawley. Just normal. Is that a kid? Yeah, Aaron ran out of the house and she's following us. There's also Henry Chappell, a gun guy and another repair person. That's cool. And there are finally 2 more houses out here where we can get our last couple quests. This house has Chef Brianna.
Nothing would please me more than to make you some Redridge goulash. But there's a slight problem. During the recent orc uprising, I fed the entire brigade of Stormwind troops. My cupboard is now bare, but if you can provide me with the ingredients, I'd be happy to oblige. Just bring me 5 pieces of tough condor meat, 5 great Goratusk snouts, and 5 helpings of crisp spider meat.
So that quest is a little annoying,
and it
will
to better yourself,
it'll help us.
Seek him out.
It'll inspire us to move around. I guess this is a restaurant because
Step on up.
here this waitress can
Safe
buy and
travel.
sell food. All right, so the Redridge goulash. That's just randomly. Now we have a reason to kill the mobs in the area, the monster mobs, or whatever, like the creatures, I guess is the best way to put it. All right, one last quest to pick up, and then we have some things to think about and do.
Once again, my garden was trampled and pillaged. And I know the brute who is doing it. It's that forsaken boar, the one Marshal Maris has taken to calling Bellygrub. I won't be able to replant the daffodils until next season now. Ruined, all ruined by that one menacing boar. Put an end to that pest. Show me his tusk and I'd be happy to reward you. He seems to spend his time foraging in the fields southwest of Lakeshire, but occasionally he roams over here and into my garden.
Alright, so this one, an Unwelcome Guest, this is a one that's so quick we can bust this out very quickly also. Way down there. Just goes to show you the ultimate scope of Redridge is pretty small because this is already on the...
Greetings.
There's an herbalism trainer right here if we wanted, and Hannah, another child. And hanging around this person right here is Lamar, the fruit seller. Now, I don't know. Bellygrub is normally right here, but if you look, that person just appeared, and I believe, yeah, no, that's a great gore tusk. So we gotta find Bellygrub. There he is, dead. So that means let's take a pause on the old killing of Bellygrub, and let's think about what we need to do. The first thing we need to do for the travel is take our behinds to Stormwind. So let's go. We're gonna hearth there. I'd like to do the travel portion of this quest, of this zone. If nothing else, let's do that. That'll also help us level up to 29 and give us some other things to do. Okay, so we also, while we're here, every place we travel to, we need to get the liquor. So we're going to first go buy our cask of Merlot. There are 4 pieces of liquor. Westfall we don't have to because we have that Thunder Brew already saved up, the keg of Thunder Brew for dry times. We do need Goldshire. And remember, we have a couple reasons to go to Goldshire, so...
Best deals in all of Stormwind.
Alright, we're going to buy our cask of Merlot.
What can I help you with?
Cost us 7 silver. While we're talking to this guard, we're not going to fly back, because we have to visit Goldshire, so we will do that. And... then I guess we'll probably fly back. Maybe we'll come back up here from Goldshire and take the flight at that point. But there are 2 reasons for us to go to Goldshire. 1, we need the liquor from Goldshire. 2, we need the little horseshoes or whatever. Westfall is going to kind of be its own little thing because we already have the liquor from there. And then at the end, Darkshire is the final message there and back. Let's read our messages. You know what? We can read our... First, let's talk to the dude, actually.
Light be with you.
Oh, we gotta read it. This is called The State of Lakeshire. Excuse me, it says it's written by Magistrate Solomon. This report details the events unfolding in Redridge. My lord, war is upon us, doom hearkens from our doorstep. As Magistrate of the Township of Lakeshire, it is my duty to report the recent military activity that has taken place in His Majesty's easternmost colony. Contained within these pages, you'll find an account of the state of Lakeshire, nestled within the Redridge Mountains. The loss of Stonewatch Keep was very grave. In previous reports, I detailed for you the alliance between the Blackrock clan of orcs and the warlock known as Morganth. The Blackrock orcs fought with horrific savagery, undoubtedly fueled by the evil magic of Morganth. Many of His Majesty's most valiant soldiers perished trying to defend the keep, but ultimately nothing could be done. Oddly enough, Morganth turned on his orcish cohorts shortly after their wretched victory. The warlock constructed an arcane tower in the northeast, and has used his powers to build a small army of Shadowhide Gnolls to serve his malicious biddings. So interesting. So now Morganth has turned on the orcs, so he's no longer fueling them. Both orc and man have fallen victim to the vicious brutes that serve the warlock. As to what betrayal took place between Morganth and Gathil Zog, the Blackrock warlord, one can only speculate at this point. Hopefully we'll find out. To our peril, the foul orc seems more concerned with the demise of His Majesty's good citizens. In the last fortnight, the Blackrock clan staged a ruthless offensive on Lakeshire. Many brave men lost their lives that grim day. The orc forces advanced with such speed and fury that the bridge spanning Everstill was brought to ruin. So those docks, the docks where all the Murlocs appear, and the ones spanning diagonally out from Lakeshire, that used to span the entire bridge. Our war supplies have greatly dwindled. We lack bandages to mend the wounds of the fallen. Now I ask of His Majesty to support the good people of Lakeshire in this time of need. We're in need of new soldiers to defend the territory, as well as new instruments of war to replace those lost on the battlefield. Food and building supplies run low as well. Please, my lord, help us keep the final bastion between man and wretched orc thriving. The enemy must be kept out of the kingdom of Stormwind. I fear a greater and darker evil brewing in the cauldron of corruption that the Northlands have become. That's Blackrock. It is imperative that the kingdom of Stormwind take action lest we seek to become fading memories to the living or slaves to the enemy. Signed, Magistrate Solomon, Township of Lakeshire, Kingdom of Stormwind. And we tell him, what have you there?
At ease, adventurer. Magistrate Solomon is a noble leader. His words carry great weight with me. I shall seek the counsel of the king and make the situation clear to him. Assure the good judge that he has the Stormwind army's support. Reinforcements will be sent as soon as word is given from His Majesty. While I wait for a response from the king, I want you to carry this letter to Magistrate Solomon. Dismissed, adventurer.
Alright, so at first blush, it would appear that we have received good news. But let's look at what Verner said. The note he's sending us to Goldshire for. Argus, as you know, I'm up to my neck in repair requests from the army. I can't complain about all the work, but it's depleting my supply of iron. I don't have enough iron for horseshoes. I know you always keep a large stock. I'd like to borrow 50 pairs of shoes until I get my next shipment of iron. You have my gratitude, Verner. Okay, second, let's go ahead and check the quest off. So, the Mesenger to Stormwind Part 1 is now completed. And that has given us Messenger to Stormwind Part 2, which we will also go back and turn in. So I think we will, what I'll do is focus on completing the Messenger series, these outer quests, and then we'll start the questing proper. Oh, you can get Murloc fins from any Murloc. Interesting. We will kill the ones that also give us sunfish, though. And all of this kind of setup, quest pickup, all of these things, we'll call that, since we had such a long episode next time. This will still run us over an hour by the time we do all the travel, but then we'll really be able to just hunker down and do real questing. So we also need the, I don't remember which one's which, we need the skin, I can tell us right here, the skin of sweet rum we purchased here for dry times, and then we already have 3 out of 4. So maybe this bartender.
For you.
Skin of sweet rum.
Have a good one.
Yikes. Alright, so we have 3 out of 4 of the liquors available. And this is how I would do it. I would marry these quests together till death do they part. Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit busy right now making horseshoes for Verner Osgood in Lakeshire.
Look at that. He gave us a different questy dialogue line.
See you around.
What's that? Verner sent you say? Well, give me his note and speak up!
So old Verner needs some shoes, does he? Okay, I'll give him his 50 horseshoes. Here they are, all boxed up and ready to go. Tell Verner it was a pleasure doing business, and be sure he reads the note attached to this crate.
So there is a note attached to the crate as well. I think it would be faster for us to actually walk back into Stormwind and fly to Lakeshire than it would be to do anything else. But the notes in this crate of horseshoes, it says there's a note attached to this crate. A note is attached to the crate. It reads, Verner, sorry to hear Redridge is having such trouble. Here are the shoes you need. Please pay me 100 silver at your earliest convenience. Or if you like, you can pay me in underbelly scales from black dragon whelps. I hear dragon whelps are common in the Redridge Mountains because we're friends. 4 scales will be enough. Thanks, Argus. So I don't know why they do that other than to kind of tip you off that, hey, there are a few recipes in the game that require black dragon underbelly scales, and this is a way of knowing this is where you get them. So you can, again, by looking, each zone is designed by a different quest designer that works for the team. And there are little nods you can see. So what is the person in that designed Redridge Mountains like? Well, they wanted one quest hub where almost all quests originate from. They wanted to build the greater lore of the world, and they wanted to hold your hand a little bit with a little bit more breadcrumbs, a little bit more step-by-step things, and little notes and things like that, and explicit directions to read them. All in all, I actually like the way that Redridge is set up as a zone. I guess I prefer that style. Duskwood has some similarity to that, and I wonder if that's the same person that designed it. I don't know. Alright, we're just coming back here so that we can get on the flight path. There is one more thing we have to read, which is the General's response. General Marcus Jonathan's response to Magistrate Solomon's plan for help. This guy's a general, so he was like the head of the army. Oh, a curt little response. Honorable Magistrate Solomon, I mourn alongside with you for the dead. I shall see to it personally that the king is made aware of the situation, and it is my fondest hope that I can bring reinforcements to Lakeshire. His Majesty has been scarce of late, and acts rather oddly. I share this with you in confidence. Until then, General Marcus Jonathan, Kingdom of Stormwind. So now, when we read the private mail, that's not ours, when we break the law, I went the wrong way. We find out that, yes, this sounds good. We want to provide you some help, but between you and me, I don't have 100% confidence that the king is actually going to send the help.
Well, these great beasts know paths that you can't find on foot. They'll get you there fast and maybe show you something new at the same time.
All right, so we've had a decent... we have some interesting things there. Now we still have to fly to Westfall and back, and to Darkshire and back. So this part right here is where we sort of will come into a lull. I guess we can start thinking about what will our plan be. Let's do... No, I did pick that one up. So we do have a couple quests that we can turn in. We're going to level up. We're going to hit level 29, which is cool. That will be all turned in. So the Redridge mongrel killer thing, that is the best way to start. So I think, hopefully we can kill Belly Grub right now too. So we'll go take another peek when we're in town for Belly Grub and see if it's just such an easy, quick quest and people kill it all the dang time. We'll see if we can get that one knocked out. But when we start questing next time, I think it'll be a good idea to go back and kill these gnolls and get the Wrethband ore. That's a nice overlapping one. Then we can maybe work our way down. We're going to have to go turn that Wrethband ore back into Northshire and then work our way back to Stormwind. That's annoying. Maybe we can save that until we hit level 30, the actual turning in of the Wrethband ore. Because then we can combine it with the leveling up. It might take us a little bit of time to get to level 30. After we do that, I think we can probably kill our way down to Parker, and then we can kill more regular gnolls while we look for the mobs in the area. We could probably also hit up these Murlocs and their poachers. That's a good combo. So on the next episode, we will complete that. We'll work our way down here. We'll complete all of this, definitely. Maybe, depending on how long that takes us, we might also be able to come up and do the Blackrock Champion stuff too, where we save Corporal Keishan, and then that would leave the gnolls and the elites for our final episode. Alright, first let's tell Verner. Hey, Verner.
Hey there.
Right, you're back. Did you get the shoes?
Thank you. This really helps me out. But what's this? Argus sent a note with the crate. What? Argus wants me to pay him? Bah. Well, adventurer, thank you for your help.
That's kind of funny. He does give us 2 quests.
I need some underbelly scales from Black Dragon Wells to pay for the shoes Argus sent me from Goldshire. If you can get 6 of them for me, then I can pay Argus with some and have enough left to fashion something for you. Black dragon whelps are often flying around south of Lakeshire, but they like to wander.
Crap for us.
You might have to just keep an eye out and hunt them when you see them. As if the attacking orcs weren't enough, now I have gnoll brutes and mystics prowling along the ridge north of my stable, taking my horses when they stray. If you can get rid of those gnolls, my horses and I would be very grateful.
Alright, so he traded us 1 for 2. That's the opposite of what we're trying to accomplish here. Our questy tracker log is quite full. So we completed the... what was it called? Return to Verner. Oh, I actually forgot to do that. Return to Verner. We completed the price of shoes, right? Did I mark that one down? No. And we picked up Return to Verner. And we just completed that. And then he gave us underbelly scales as a quest. And he also gave us the baying of gnolls. So now we have more reasons to continue to kill gnolls, and I need more room. We're just picking up like every quest in the zone, really. So now we have extra gnolls that he wants us to kill, particularly these. So now we even have more incentive to, or overlap with the pike stuff. Alright, and now we can tell the magistrate how our messaging service went.
King's honor, friend. Be careful.
Did the general send news? All the reinforcements on the way.
Thank you for your time, adventurer. For your service to Lakeshire and Stormwind, I reward you with these coins. Now, if you'll excuse me, I find this correspondence somewhat of a mystery. Something is amiss in our kingdom. I fear this is the beginning of conflict.
This is the beginning of the Stormwind kind of lore for World of Warcraft Classic.
Go with honor, friend.
So now he wants us to go to Westfall.
Something odd is afoot with the Stormwind army. They should have been here in force by now. Time is a luxury we don't have, however. I will not stand by and watch the people of Lakeshire give their lives without trying to enlist more help. I've heard word of a people's militia forming in Westfall. Take this plea to their leader, Brian Stoutmantle. Perhaps Stoutmantle's men can lend some support here until the king sends reserves.
Alright, so he, much like the general, he's taking the general's words to heart, and now the magistrate of Lakeshire is like, okay, well, this is messed up AH, and I can't count on the army because the army should have already been here. Look, this is where it looks like the bridge was partially destroyed before, and they've already started doing some repairs. It's kind of neat. I've never noticed that touch of these are the... They've talked about the orcs having hit the town up, and this is where they're working on repairing the bridge with wood and stuff like that. Kind of neat. Kind of cool. Alright, now we have to fly over to Westfall. This is just going to be a quick there and back mission. Let's read our missive as... Actually, let's do the spread... No, we'll read the missive first. Lord Stoutmantle, the Township of Lakeshire humbly requests the aid of your militia. As I write this, we find ourselves under siege from both the Blackrock Orcs and Morgoth's Shadowhide Gnolls. I would not send bidding if our situation was not severe. We await aid from Stormwind, but until such help arrives, I beg of you to lend support. Once the kingdom is breached, all of humanity is in peril. Magistrate Solomon. Now he's true because they're kind of closer to the center of the zone, whereas Westfall really is its own, if you look at the greater map, it's its own kind of area. Westfall is right here. There's a mountain ridge protecting it from the south, which is really just Stranglethorn. And then it's abutted up against Duskwood, which as far as the Magistrate knows, that's just a positive zone. So Lakeshire, Stormwind itself is, of course, shares a border, but the real border with all of the Hardlands is Redridge. So he's right about the strategic importance of this land. Let's do our spreadsheet. So we completed Messenger to Stormwind 2, and we're picking up Messenger to Westfall 1. I forgot to check out Belly Grub My bad. We'll do that. We will do it before we go. And if nothing else, we will wait for a respawn. That is one quest we will complete on this episode also. These quests are so low level and of the breadcrumb variety, so we're getting 25 XP per quest, so it's just really making us wait to level up. This is the level up that will be our final 20th point of retribution, which will allow us to spec in two-handed weapons, but it will open up. We're going to be giving a point to improve Seal of the Crusader. Then we'll max out our weapon two-hand spec, and then finish off the improved Seal of the Creator, which will then Crusader, which will open up Vengeance for us, which gives us a bonus to damage. Says it gives us a 3% bonus to physical and holy damage for 8 seconds after dealing a crit. So at that point in time, now agility is going to start becoming important again, because then crits will matter, which is not the end of the world, 6 levels away. And then finally we will do Repentance, which is one more stun that we'll have.
Greetings.
Hail, Paladin. What business do you have with the People's Militia?
Good messenger, you have served your master well.
I know.
Magistrate Solomon's note pains me to read, but it is obvious he knows not the war which is waged in Westfall, or else he would know better than to expect aid from the militia. If Stormwind had not deserted us as well, we would not have the need for the militia. Take this response to your master in Redridge, adventurer, and let him know that my heart is heavy with the loss of good men.
Alright, so he essentially is just telling us, dude, we can't. You know, he says he doesn't know anything about what's going on here, why we even had to forge the militia, and if he did, he'd know better than to mess with us.
Where are you going? Well, if you're looking to get there quickly, then look no further.
And then he also says, Stormwind... Yeah, if we hadn't also been screwed over, we wouldn't even have formed this militia. So he's basically, so we're learning, hey, Stormwind is not protecting any of its flanks, really. And he also doesn't know what we've been dealing with. We do, because we've already put in very solid work in defeating the Defius. Alright, so his response is, Your Honor, all of Westfall mourns for your loss, but we are plagued with our own war in Westfall. The farmers have been run off by thieves and mechanical golems. Stormwind withdrew its troops, leaving the people defenseless. I mustered the people's militia in the wake of Stormwind's abandonment to save what remains of this land. To take the militia to Redridge would mean certain doom for Westfall. My regrets, Brian Stoutmantle. So at least Redridge does ostensibly have, and because it's so much more strategically important, it has these small guard presence that we've seen. But yeah, there's almost none in Westfall, and that's because of the politicians, which we know as Lady Katrina Prester, has ordered them to be pulled back. Let's also give ourselves that 1 point I was talking about. So we have a 5% increase to the melee attack power bonus of Seal of the Crusader and Judgment of the Crusader. So when we judge, yeah, that's really what we use it for. We use it only for the judgment, and now it's 5% better than it was, which is only a couple damage. But hey, a couple damage is a couple damage. That's how things work when you deal with skill trees in Classic. It's all incremental. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and turn in the Messenger of Westfall here. We did get the first one done, and actually I just need number 2. This gave us Messenger of Westfall number 2. Okay, so we turn that one in, boom boom. Picking up the Messenger series. We are almost done with it combined with Dry Times. So at least they did give us a couple other little traveler quests. A free lunch is a nice easy one that we need to complete too. That one really just sends us there and back, but we can combine it with other things. Kind of an odd little quest. When she gives us the free lunch too, I think it's like some of those fish, but unfortunately we need spotted sunfish, and I think she gives us like cooked spotted sunfish or something. I don't know. You can't use them to turn in the quest, unfortunately. We'll try. We can give it the old college try. Not today, tomorrow.
What can I do for you? Go with honor, friend.
Shall we expect the People's Militia soon? Does Lord Stoutmantle's news bode well?
I do say, this is not good at all. I did not realize that Stoutmantle's situation was not unlike ours here in Lakeshire. What action is so important that it calls the Stormwind army away from its people? Bah, I should not ponder aloud. Here, Messenger. Accept these
One
coins
silver.
in exchange for your service to the township. I might call upon you again.
And
I
Darkshire.
require your assistance once again. I have written to Lord Ebenlock requesting that he sends his trained guards, the Night Watch, to help with Lakeshire's defense. It is imperative this message makes it to him swiftly. You must exercise extreme caution. Ebenlock is the mayor of Darkshire, in the heart of Dusker. Do not stray from the roads.
Alright, so we luckily have already unlocked all these flight paths, so we'll use that flight path. But first, let's go check and see if the piggy is back. We have another message to read when we're doing that also, but let's check for the unwelcome visitor, and we'll deal with the spreadsheet and all that stuff when we're flying to Darkshire. Luckily, again, also, even Westfall was the furthest one away. It's all pretty close. So we are hoping that dang it, look, Bellygrub dead again. So we will, like I said, we will fight Bellygrub, but hopefully we can get there. It's just such a easy quest to walk over there and kill Bellygrub, and this is a low-level zone right next to the capital. So you just, lots of people would kill that. So this guy is Jenica, or Girl. 2112 is the name of the guild. That is a Rush album, I believe. I like Rush, but I'm not the most large Rush fan. I actually had a character that was in that guild for a little bit of time. I don't remember which character, and I don't remember why or if I quit. I kind of just think there was nothing special or fun about it. No offense if you're a member of 2112 and you're listening. That was just my personal experience the short time I was there with one of my alts. And I definitely didn't put anything into it to, you know, guilds are very much a case of you get what you put in.
Where would you like to fly to?
Darkshire.
Farewell.
Alright, let's read the letter. He says, Lord Ebenlock, the township of Lakeshire humbly requests the aid of the Night Watch. We are under siege from both the Blackrock Orcs and Morganth's Shadowhide Gnolls. I would not send bidding if our situation was not severe. We await aid from Stormwind, but until such help arrives, I beg of you to lend support. Once the kingdom is breached, all of humanity is in peril. Magistrate Solomon. Okay, so that gives us Messenger of Westfall being done. Bam. And we can go down, I might as well pick up both right now. The Messenger to Darkshire. So we picked up Messenger to Darkshire, the last of the Messenger series for us. So what do we have left on this episode that we're going to accomplish? We'll turn this in. We'll turn in dry times because we can buy our bottle of moonshine. This is the last of the liquor we need to buy. Spirits. So I guess it's not all liquor because it's the Merlot is wine. We have rum, moonshine. Thunder Brew is, I guess, some kind of beer. And because you brew beer. And maybe you can brew liquor as well. In the inn is where we can buy the bottle of moonshine. This will be the next zone that we do as well.
Looking for
Okay, I want that 11. So altogether, we have spent about 27. Let's see, it was about 25 silver on our liquors of various. Plus, I don't remember if we had to pay anything for the Thunder Brew. I don't think we did. I think we just had to turn in the hops to the guy for that repeatable quest.
King's honor, friend.
We appear to have traveled from afar, Paladin. What business do you have here in Darkshire?
Thank you for making the long journey here. This is indeed important information. If I did not know Magistrate Solomon personally, I would say the man has gone mad. Send the Night Watch to Lakeshire because Stormwind refuses aid? The Night Watch was formed because Stormwind left us when this foul magic seeped into the land. If I sent my Night Watch, this town would be overrun by evil before the guards even reached the forest's edge. Take this letter of response to your master in Lakeshire.
Okay, so he's not so much saying Stormwind abandoned him. He's just saying it is so crappy here that, and he's right, the town is constantly under attack by abominations and the like. So if there was not a constant watch going on in this town, they would be instantly overrun. And the land is jacked, as you can see just from visiting it here. So he's not wrong. As a matter of fact,
where would you like to fly to?
Despite the attacks back to Lakeshire,
Safe
it
travel.
almost seems that Lakeshire's doing the best. But no, we've done solid work for Westfall. So I would say Westfall, after our help, they're in the best shape. Your Honor, I regret to inform you that the Night Watch is unable to leave its post in Darkshire at this time. Perhaps you were unaware that Stormwind no longer provides military support in this region, so there from the letter, they've all gotten screwed. The Night Watch has been formed and trained entirely by the people of the forest in order to defend Darkshire in Stormwind's absence. Without the Watch, the town would fall. Wish you luck with your plight, Lord Elo Ebenloth. So what we've learned is that the Stormwind, for some reason, no longer supports its outlying colonies. All of its buffer states are now left to fend for themselves. Luckily, a hero is on the way. So they actually still have some military support because it's just unarguably, because of its location next to the Blackrock Mountains, the strategically most important of them. But yeah, something to think about there, Mayor, which is what we're going to do. We're going to give him food for thought right now. And we'll turn in the dry times, so... Boom. Boom. Messenger to Darkshire, number 2. Let's turn that bad boy in. That's the end of the Messenger series. We'll also turn in dry times, and then we're going to do the belly grub.
Open for business.
And that will be it. We'll make it... Most of my episodes are going to be a little bit longer than this going forward. At least for the next couple weeks, but because yesterday's was such a doozy.
Be careful.
Good to see you back, Messenger. I shall inform the Marshal that the Night Watch is on its way from Darkshire. Shall I?
By the light! The Stormwind army retreated from Westfall, and the Guard no longer protects Darkshire? There is some treachery abound. How could this be so? Oh, I forgot to reward your service, adventurer. Here are some coins. Now excuse me. Something is amiss in Stormwind, and I must get to the bottom of it.
Ridiculous. All of that traveling, you get nothing. It doesn't even pay for the flight paths. It's really just a series of forced breadcrumbs. But it's complete crap. Alright, so... Now we're going to go up and do the dry times. Hopefully this at least gives us 25 silver worth of stuff, because that's how much we spent.
Light be with you.
I need you to pick up a keg of Thunderbrew Lager from Grimbrew's Thunderbrew in the Westfall Hills, a cask of Merlot from Stormwind, a bottle of moonshine from Darkshire, and a skin of sweet rum from Goldshire. Bring those back to me and I'll see to it you are rewarded.
A job well done, adventurer. I know well the roads you had to journey to procure this fine array of liquor, but my patrons will be happy once again. My wife is quite a seamstress. Please accept this cloak she made in return for your services.
I'll murder you. Trash cloak. He did give us a bulging coin purse, which we can check that out too. But my, it better be freaking bulging. That's the free lunch there. I can put Theocritus's thing up. Alright, so we need belly grub. I'm gonna sell that, but if we open this up... Oh, it did have 40 silver in it. So it did pay for itself. Belly grub is dead. So there's no way around this. If you want to kill belly grub, be prepared to camp him. Because obviously... now we can just, for funsies here, we can kill a little bit of regular boars. We do need the great boar tusk snouts while we wait. Okay. We also can get this ore because I guess it has a chance of dropping Rethban ore anytime you mine ore in the region. Supposedly, that's what it says on Questy anyway. We cannot get... We'll invite this guy because he's waiting on belly grub too. As is everyone in the region. Okay, unfortunately that does mean that our drop rate on the Great Gore-Tusk Snout is going to get cut in half. Because of us splitting the loot in half now. So Belly Grub just appears in this one spot right near town. It's a pretty decent award, super short quest, hence the reason it's constantly farmed. Constantly. So for our own sanity, now Belly Grub can appear, I think, a little further up the hillside. And, I mean, every time we've seen it, he's dead. So maybe the spawn rate's is decent. Belly Grub, as you can see, is just a little bigger and a little darker than the other boars. I have found Belly Grub, like, at the top, up here. I've seen Belly Grub up there before. I just said, yeah, so I'm not being a very much of a conversationalist here. There we go, we got a second snout. Just can't go too far. But yes, Belly Grub can appear up here, but you go too far away. That's it for your Belly Grub hopes. And this will be the last quest we do. We'll work on the... There you go, we already have 3 Gore-Tusk snouts. Yeah, there's Redridge Brutes we can get up that way. He stunned it. I was trying to kite it back down closer. I don't want to go too far away from Belly Grub because I don't want to miss it. Alright, but yeah, I just didn't feel like typing. I'm talking to you guys. So, I see Belly Grub's corpse is gone, so that means it should respawn soon. Another Gore-Tusk. But yeah, I would hope Belly Grub has a quick respawn. I hope. There's a little shack, I don't know what, that's the graveyard, that's what it is. I used to think of like like a gypsy. Okay, but we did get 3 out of our 4 so far. Got 3 out of our 4 great Gore-Tusk snouts, so we're making good use of our time. No XP for these. There's old Belly Grub. Okay, Belly Grub is a Belly Grub is a level 24 beast here. Okay, and we got Belly Grub's tusk. Okay. Alright, so I have left that guy. Give him old good luck, but that's about it for us. Okay, so we're going to turn in an unwelcome guest as well.
Hey there.
Is Belly Grub still at it, or were you able to rid Lakeshire the past once and for all?
Finally, the menace is laid to rest. Thank you, adventurer. You have done me a great service. The garden shall be in full bloom this season.
So this is like a cosplay thing?
Safe travels.
It's just an offhand item you can
How are you?
hold to be cute. I just sell it for the 5 silver. I don't care. All this boar meat and boar ribs is not good, but we do need the snout. Yeah, like I don't think that.
Have a good one.
Dang it. I don't. Oh, actually, the boar ribs are still useful for us with mild spices. Let me go back and buy those boar ribs.
You need something?
Okay.
See you later.
Alright, so that's it. If you look at our actual quests, we finished Mesenger to Darkshire. So that was the end of that line. We also finished Dry Times. And at the very end, we finished an Unwelcome Guest. So that was a pretty good, despite it all, a pretty good run. It's all densely packed. As you can see, the quest list is pretty low. it's probably darn close to being able to be done in 2 sessions instead of 3. If you look at it, because we did almost half of them. But some of these are a little longer, so I'm going to go ahead and just say let's plan for 3. And come heck or high water, we're going to get 3. I want to get done, like I said, on the next zone. I'd like to get done. Let's do a repair quick, and then we'll go to the inn, and that will be a log. I want to get done all of these quests that send us through here. All of that, and then, depending on time, we may or may not include the Blackrock Champion Escort. Like, if we do all of that and we're only coming in at an hour, then yeah, we'll use the rest of the time getting Corporal Sheehan. So we also got 2 silver from that. Barf.
Have a good one.
But if our time is too much, we will do that part, the Gnolls, and then the Elites all in one. But we're going to finish this in the next 2 episodes. So we also have some, tomorrow and beyond, we will have some lore videos coming up on the Patreon. Some playthroughs of Assassin's Creed 1. I'll have a few of those, and in the next 1 to 2 days, I will be dropping an in-game object, my first one of those in-game lore books. Okay, so that's it. Another episode in the Pipe 5x5, very productive, and I thank you all so much for enjoying, for turning in, for watching. I had a great time, and hopefully your day's a little brighter with us spending some of it together. See you guys on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft.